Hello, welcome to my reading rush vlog. I did not expect to start the video this way, but I felt like I had to not give a disclaimer, just talk about this before the vlog because I have chosen to post the reading vlog, and so I feel like I should say something. I still wanted to post the reading vlog even though this is probably not my best work. I was pretty low energy the whole week just because, you know, life and stuff, but I read a bunch of good books. This took me a long time to edit, and I had already started editing this. I had gotten like a good third into the editing of this by the time I found out about what happened. Once I started editing a video, I usually put it up, so I'm putting this up. I did want to talk a little bit about what happened. So if you don't know what happened, basically on Sunday there was supposed to be a live show for Such a Fun Age, which was the group book for the Reading Rush this year, apparently. Lots of people did not know that it was the group book. A lot of people after the fact said, I didn't even know there was a group book. I had a vague knowledge that there was a group book, but I don't remember seeing it promoted that much. I don't even know how I knew. I think I had seen the poll originally, and I have already read Such a Fun Age. I actually reviewed it in my June wrap-up. If you're interested in that, not that this is like a promo for my Such a Fun Age review, it's a wrap-up, so you know, I think I talked about it like a decent length. Anyway, during the live show, the host of the Reading Rush admitted that they had not read the book despite having chosen it as the group book, because even though there was a poll, they could have not chosen it. They could have been like, we just want to read this more or anything, and they had not made attempts to read it. They just said that they were too busy and they got caught up reading other things. In ordinary circumstances, that would be rude because people were expecting this thing out of the live show to discuss a book with them, and that's rude to not be able to have that discussion that people were counting on having with. But considering the fact that this is a Black author, and to an outside observer, who, especially someone who didn't know there was a poll or anything, it looks like you chose a book around the time that Black Lives Matter became more in the public eye again, in order to show how diverse your readathon is, how good of an ally you are, and then you say, everyone pick up this book, and then you don't actually read it. There's no good optics there. Obviously, I don't think this is intentional. Maybe they didn't realize what that would look like to other people. But like I said, even if it was any other book, it would be rude. And this is not their only offense. I don't know of a better word. The reading challenges for this readathon, one of them included the read outside prompt, which I talked about in my TBR for this video, or TBR for this readathon. Many people were upset by it. They ended up saying that you should just interpret it however you want, but I think it is fair to say that a prompt like that doesn't seem to invite a lot of interpretation. If it was, like, there are other readathons where it's like one word and then you interpret it however you want. That's something else, but the prompt wasn't to interpret this thing however you want. The prompt was to do this. And then later on, now that people have complained, you're saying interpret it however you want. I ended up not doing the prompt, which I said I wasn't going to do because it was dumb. There was an issue with that. They announced the readathon. They did their whole announcement video on Juneteenth, which just added on to the pile. And I will say that they are Canadian, but Marinez from My Name is Marinez talked about this in her reading vlog, and I kind of agree with her opinion. I don't know where I stand, but basically her thoughts were that Black Americans were being extra loud about Juneteenth this year, and the Black Lives Matter movement is global, and if you were aware of really what was going on around you, it would be hard for you to miss it this year. That is a valuable point. It's also a valuable point that they are Canadian. They don't live in America. Juneteenth is a Black American holiday. So take with that what you will. Those two isolated events, when you take them in isolation, they don't seem to amount to anything. But when you take those two along with this, we don't live in isolation. It does show that they don't seem to consider what the community might want. And like I said, none of this seemed intentional at all to me. I don't believe that either of the hosts thought any of these individual things would be such a big deal, but that's just another thing. Just because you don't intend for something to happen, you don't intend for someone to be harmed, does not mean that they are not harmed. If you walk past someone on the street and you step on their foot, you turn around and say sorry because you hurt them. It doesn't matter that you didn't intend to step on their foot. You didn't like go around stomping on every person's foot. You just stepped on that one person's foot. It was an accident, but you still hurt them. Now their toe hurts. Obviously that example is very rudimentary, but you get what I'm trying to say. This readathon is meant to be a community-wide readathon. It is pitched as a community-wide readathon. It is supposed to be the book community at large. They changed the name from Booktubeathon so that they could accommodate more of the book community. And they are able to monetize it in the way that they do with all their merch and their book depository link and everything. because they say that they want this to be for the whole community. If it was just a little thing and they wanted to just host it their way or the highway, they could do that. But they say they want it to be community oriented, and so they have to listen to their community. The community is saying, you hurt us, we're not a fan of how you were doing this. And if you want to continue to do what you are doing, you have to take that into consideration. And when you ask for feedback, you have to take it. If you want to have the pros of being a community-oriented event, such as more people wanting to take part in your event, wanting to give you money for your event, if you want to do that, you have to take what people are saying. You have to listen to your community. The last thing that I'll say is discussions like this tend to focus on the bad eggs in the community, but that is not all or even the majority of the people who are speaking up. You cannot focus on how people are saying their grievances. If you truly cared about the grievances, then it wouldn't matter the tone that they're giving it in. I'm not obviously making light of any actual abuse or death threats. Personally, I haven't seen any. I assume they must have happened in direct messages or private messages, because I personally did not see any on my timeline. It is unfortunate that happens, but those people don't have our grievances. They are not part of this. I guess that's all I wanted to say. I don't know if I'll be taking part in the Reading Rush next year. I think maybe my time with the Reading Rush / BookTubeathon has come to an end. There are other readathons on BookTube, on Twitter, on book blogs, on everything. Yeah, I wanted to say that at the beginning, and obviously I'm disappointed that the Reading Rush has gone this way, but it is what it is. I'm posting this vlog, and yeah, sorry this intro was so long. This video is going to be so long. Enjoy. Hi, it's Lucy, and today I'm starting my part 1 Reading Rush vlogs. It's 10 o'clock on day 1. I have to start doing work soon. I haven't logged in yet. I'm gonna do that. I also have to eat breakfast. I did actually read this morning. I wake up at 6:37 most of the time, so I've been awake for a while. And I actually finished a book, but it was not for the Reading Rush. The book was called What Goes Up by Katie Kennedy. I probably have reviewed it on Goodreads by now, so if you want to hear more about that, it'll be there, and I'll talk about it in my July wrap-up as well. But yeah, it was a fun read. I am conflicted because there was another book that I had started and ended up not finishing this weekend, and it is called A Wicked Magic, and it doesn't really fit any of the challenges. I don't know if I should stop reading it. I'm over halfway through at this point, because I was maybe I could finish it this morning. I could not, but I'm at 55% through on that so far, so I might just continue reading it. So currently reading that. I forgot the author's name, but we'll talk about it later. But let me tell you guys my TBR. So I'll be reading All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson as a book that matches the color of your birthstone. That also counts for the read the first book you touch, because it was the first book I touched in my TBR video. And I was planning to read The Boy in the Red Dress by Kristen Lambert as a read a book that starts with the word the, but that comes in conflict in a second. Then That Could Be Enough by Alyssa Cole. That'll be read a book in a genre that you've always wanted to read more of. And then we have The Problem. So the last challenge is to read a book that takes place on a different continent than where you live. That was supposed to be Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. I, however, messed up, and I did not remember to request it from the library in time, because when I was looking and planning, it was free to be borrowed, but it was too early. I wouldn't have been able to keep it long enough for the Reading Rush. So I was I'll just check again next week, but then I forgot to do that. And now someone beat me and they have it now. So instead I will be reading If Cats Disappeared from the World by, I forgot the author's name. I have a physical copy of that book, which is why I decided to replace it with this. The book is translated from Japanese, so I'm assuming it is set in Japan, but that leaves me without an audiobook, because I was planning to listen to the audiobook for Love from A to Z. I decided to look through the audiobooks that I have, and I have become a Libro FM ambassador. I don't know what they call it, but basically I helping to promote Libro FM, which is an audiobook service comparable to Audible. I'm not sponsored at all. So the only thing that I get is that as an ambassador, they let me pick from a selection of their books to get for free, but I don't get any money if you sign up. I will leave a link down below if you want to sign up. Like I said, it's comparable to Audible. I believe it's $14.99 a month for 1 credit, and you can exchange that credit for any book they have. And their model is different from Audible, because instead of signing up for Audible and supporting Amazon, when you sign up for Libro.fm, you end up supporting independent bookstores, because when you sign up, you get to choose like an independent bookstore who's part of their like system, and then they like split the profit from that audiobook with the independent bookstore. If you're interested in supporting independent bookstores and you also like listening to audiobooks, I think this is a great way. Like I said, not sponsored in any way. I just thought I would mention it because the book that I'm currently reading is from them. I'm currently reading The Voting Booth by Brittany Colbert. I literally just mentioned this in the Black Booktuber tag that I was like, oh, I need to read more of her books, and it's probably going to be The Voting Booth without knowing that that was one of the books that they were going to offer me. So it all worked out. That also takes me back to the read a book that starts with the word the. So The Voting Booth would also fit with that. I still want to read The Boy in the Red Dress because it sounds good and I have an arc. I'm currently 10% through the audiobook and I'm liking it so far. It's really cute. I'll tell you guys more about it later because I really want to eat. I just wanted to update you guys. This is not a reading update. I did not mention in the first update. Today is my cat's birthday. Yes, I am one of those cat moms who celebrates their cat's birthday, and I don't know if you'd hear him whining right now. It's his like normal meal time, and I decided to make him like a little birthday cake, and I wanted to show you guys the process. It's not really a process, it's just tuna and his regular treats. I'm gonna mix them together and like decorate it kind of with the treats. I don't know. So I wanted to do something special for his birthday, even though he doesn't even know he was born today or have the concept of a birthday. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I had an original, like a whole video plan where I was gonna like bake something, but all the cat like cake recipes are one, not as fun as dog recipes. Two, they make so many of these treats that I'm not 100% sure they won't give him diarrhea. So if I have like 20 of those treats and then they make his like stomach like not do well, then I'll just have 20 of those treats. Yeah, I just want to do like the tuna and the treats. He'll love it either way. He's a cat, he doesn't know. It's not like a weapon. How is water so little? They can do some oddly and stand tall, running their tails out of eyes like an animal. Happy birthday! No, sit. Sit. Thank you. Good morning. It's day 2 of the reading rush. Currently I'm reading 3 books. I have not finished any of the books that I'm currently reading, but I did start 2 books yesterday. I think I talked about one of them. First, I'm reading The Voting Booth by Brandy Colbert. I'm currently 66%. I listen to audiobooks at more than 2 times speed. Right now I'm listening at 2.25 speed. That's another good thing about Libro.fm. It does let you speed up audiobooks if that's the thing you're concerned about, which I would be concerned about because I listen to everything faster than the actual narrators. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's really cute. I didn't tell you the synopsis. It's kind of like a meet cute with 2 characters who were both voting for the first time on election day. The girl main character, whose name is Marva, is like super into politics. She's been like waiting, counting down the days until she gets to vote, and she like pays a lot of attention to everything that's going on politically and in our current system. And the other main character isn't as active in like politics and stuff. It's like a bigger thing in his family, and he's also voting for the first time. And so when he gets there, he finds out that he's not on their list, and then Marva is like, no, you have to vote. So they end up going on not a road trip, but like she basically ends up offering to drive him to the place that he has to go to vote, and it's like a whole thing from there. And there's a bunch of like side hijinks and everything, and it's really cute so far. It's very topical. There's like a lot of discussion about like some of the things that they're voting for, the way that politics and everything is being discussed. I feel like obviously left-leaning, both the main characters are black. The boy main character, whose name is Duke, is half white, half black. His mom is white, his dad is black, and both their families are conscious. So that's the kind of political leanings that are in there. There's no specific names of anybody running for whatever they're voting for. They don't even say what the election is for. So they don't say like anything. It's just so it can be more generalized. They just talk about the issues. And I like that. Some of it I think could be a little heavy-handed, but that's just for me because like I know all this for like the target age group of like 14 to 17 or something. If they're new to politics, they don't know a whole lot, maybe their families aren't as conscious, I think this would be a really good primer. There are some political issues that have been discussed so far, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and the way the characters interact with each other is really cute and adorable. So like I said, I'm 66% through that. This will definitely be finished today, and that will count for the challenge of reading a book that starts with "the" in the title. The other book that I'm reading is A Wicked Magic. I did receive this from Nat Alley from the publisher in exchange for an honest review. I'm currently 67% of the way through this. I started this before the reading rush. Before Monday, I was 40%, so I advanced 27% since yesterday, or since the start of the reading rush. It says I have 28 minutes left in the book, so maybe I'll finish that today. We'll see. There's two main characters, and they find this book in like this junk cardboard box by their neighborhood grocery store. They live in like a very small town, and it turns out it's the Black Book, which provides like magical spells, and they become witches. And so they start doing spells and stuff. They're having like a grand old time learning about witchcraft and magic and everything, and then they decide to do a certain spell, and Alyssa's boyfriend is there, and he ends up being taken, and so it's about what happens after that. And I think it's interesting. This does have a trigger warning for self-harm. One of the main characters does cut herself. That's a trigger warning in case you need it. But so far I'm enjoying it. I don't know anything about being a witch, witchcraft, being Wiccan, which I believe are different, so I cannot provide any insight into that, but as just a story, I'm enjoying it. There's some like convenient things that are happening, but it's not really taking away from my enjoyment so far. And the last book that I'm currently reading is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. This is George M. Johnson's memoir, and he's writing it for young adults, so it's kind of like, I think maybe a little easier language, I'm not sure. It's definitely fast to get through. I only read for like 20 minutes last night, and I'm on page 50, but I'm just starting it. Told one story so far that was pretty traumatic. There's trigger warnings for a lot of things in this because he unfortunately does experience a lot of violence throughout his life, as he says, but it's supposed to be hopeful. Right now we're just learning about his like family life. So those are the 3 books that I'm currently reading. 2 of them I think I could finish today if I like buckle down. I'm definitely gonna finish one of them. It's day 3 of the reading rush. That's my cat using the litter box. You're welcome for that noise. But yeah, I want to update you guys on my reading. I finished 2 books so far. I finished The Voting Booth last night, and then I finished A Wicked Magic. So I'm going to talk about those 2 books right now. Let's talk about The Voting Booth first. The Voting Booth by Brandy Hober. The ending of that, it was so cute. I really enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed all aspects of reading it. I gave it 4 stars, and yeah, I'm so glad that I read it. Absolutely recommend it. It made me want to go vote, even though I was already going to go vote, because it is your civic duty to vote, as the book reminds you. And the other book was A Wicked Magic. I also talked about this yesterday, so this is just my feelings on the end. There was a very needless conflict in the last third, but it does get resolved relatively quickly, so it was okay. The thing I said yesterday about self-harm, it's more graphic than I remembered it being when I talked about it yesterday. So if that is a trigger for you, I definitely caution you, be careful. One of the main characters does cut herself as a form of self-harm, and that character suffers from depression. One of the other characters, I think, is meant to have some form of anxiety or OCD, but the character mentions having to do things multiple times until it feels right, which I know can be a symptom of OCD, and she mentioned some other anxiety related things. So some form of anxiety is present in that character. In conclusion, this is a darker book. Like I said, it's about 2 girls who are witches, and then they end up causing one of the girls' boyfriends to disappear, and it's about trying to get him back. And then there's another girl who kind of gets involved. It's a whole thing, and I don't want to give away too much because everything was a surprise to me and I enjoyed that aspect. If you like witchy books, I think you'll enjoy this. I had a good time reading this. It's not like super lighthearted, but I thought it was interesting. And it also, like I said, deals with those mental illnesses, and the magic in no way is used to like fix those things. And yeah, so I finished 2 books. Tucker! My cat tries to open the pantry and he can like get it open. Like that sound, that's him. He can like get it open, but he can't like keep it open, so it just slams back closed, and that's the noise you're hearing. I'm planning to start, since I finished both an audiobook and an ebook, I'm planning to start That Could Be Enough by Alyssa tonight. Also, I want to start Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. I am really throwing away that TBR I gave you guys in my July TBR. I know I said that I wanted to read If Cats Disappeared from the World. It's very bright, but that's what the book looks like. I put it in my Bookstagram, which, by the way, you should follow my Bookstagram. It has lots of pictures of my annoying cat, who I love so much, and also pictures of books, and I talk about books there. It's like a regular Bookstagram, except all the pictures are of my cat and books. So you should check it out. I'm really trying to like increase my following there and everything. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by some undetermined point in time. But yeah, you should follow it if you haven't checked it out yet. But back to what I was talking about. So I said I was going to read If Cats Disappeared from the World for the book set in a continent that's not yours, and like in theory I'm still gonna do that. It depends how long it takes me to finish All Boys Are in Blue. Tucker! What are you doing? What are you doing? This is my counter. Look shameful. Look shameful. Look shameful. So unashamed. He's going straight back to the kitchen. Oh my gosh. Anyway. He was fine. He's just a big crybaby who wanted me to let him into the pantry. I don't know what I was saying. But yes, Exit West. My cat completely distracted me. But yes, that's my update for now. Hello. I think this clip might be crooked because my apartment is crooked and we're on the exact like fault line of my crooked apartment. It is what it is. I'm moving soon. Yeah, it is day 4 of the reading rush. I am still reading things. Today has been a day. Honestly, I think it's been the worst day of the week. I don't know if you can tell, but I haven't been the most energetic, feeling that great, and today was the worst. And because of like a bunch of little things, I feel really dumb, like complaining about it, but I'm gonna complain because this is my channel and you're here watching me. So the first thing that happened today, honestly, today started off okay. I went to Starbucks, I got Starbucks, obviously wearing a mask. So I drank the Starbucks, the drink was very okay. So it was like medium. I did not film it because I have been really bad at filming. Also, there's a truck outside now because the day cannot get any better. I'm not gonna stop though. As I'm drinking my Starbucks coffee, my cat like looks up, but then I see this big black bug float on into my window and I start freaking out. If you don't know, I hate bugs. I cannot stand bugs. I don't want to say I have a phobia because obviously I dealt with it. Oh my God. How much can this truck back up? I'm just gonna talk through, I guess, the truck backing up. I said I was going to, and then I figured it would have to stop eventually. It stopped right now, but for how long, I don't know. I was so close to being driven to madness already from the day, and now I think I'm so close. Anyway, the bug, my cat saw it first, I saw it. It was kind of like hovering, and then I'm like, what kind of bug is that? The bug is like in my blinds. And like I look at it and it looks like a wasp to me. I looked it up after and I'm not sure if it was a wasp, but it was very large and it had like that like shape that you think wasps or hornets have. But the only issue was that it was all black. There was no yellow in it. So I don't know what it was. And there's apparently like a black hornet or something, but it didn't look like that. But it looked like it stung. And I'd never seen anything like that before. And like I said, I hate bugs. I hate them so much. So anyway, I'm freaking out obviously about this bug. And the last time I had a bug, I got some wasp and hornet spray. So I went and got that. Unfortunately, I had to go past the wasp to do it because he was in the window by my kitchen and I keep it under the kitchen sink. And so as I was walking past, of course, he flew towards my bedroom. He didn't go to my bedroom. He went into the window over here, which you also can't see. So I get the spray. And unfortunately, the spray that I got is outdoor spray. So I just couldn't handle it. So I basically sweeped my entire, this whole area of my apartment with the spray. Basically, I got my whole desk all over my windows all over everything, and then I like started to get mad at myself because I was like, I poisoned everything. Like, what if Tucker steps on something and then he gets poisoned? And so I had to clean up everything. I used like 4 cleaning solutions because I was like, I want to make sure nothing is left. I got it all over the stuff that was on my desk because my desk was not clean. And yeah, that whole ruined my day. But yeah, that was how my morning started, and then I like didn't get over it. Like, I took a nap. I was like, I'm out. So that happened. And then after that, I decided, I don't know if you noticed, I never talked about it, but I was wearing press-on nails this whole past week, and I wanted to take them off. The website I got them from was like, oh, just soak your hands in warm and soapy water for like 10 minutes, and then they should come off easily. They did not come off easily. I definitely peeled off some of my nails, and now there's white spots all over my nails, so that's even better. And it took me 3 hours to get them off my nails. I started Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. This is the book, looks like that. I'm listening to the audiobook, so I'm 30% of the way through it. The audiobook is only 4 hours long, so I could finish it today if I put my mind to it, which I might not. So we'll see. But yeah, so far it's pretty good. It's very interesting. It's about like war, I guess, kind of refugees or people who become refugees. We haven't gotten to that part yet, but I know that's what the story's about. But it's like the beginnings of a war, especially like a civil war. And yeah, it's very interesting so far. I read like 30 more pages of All Boys Aren't Blue this morning. I'm on page 94. I was on page 50, so that's like 40 more pages. I can do math. So yeah, I'm still enjoying it. Probably could finish that tonight also, but I'm not going to. So we'll just see where the night takes me. I'm really tired. I'm really hungry. I need to cook. I'm gonna cook. Maybe we'll come back. Maybe you'll see me tomorrow. It's all a mystery. What it's supposed to look like. What it actually looks like. Hello, it's day 5. I have logged off of work and hopefully the construction outside is done. My update is that I have finished Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. I didn't even think about what I'm going to give this. Probably 4 stars. I thought it was really good. I don't really have any complaints. I don't know if it really felt like 5 stars to me, so it might be 4 stars. Maybe it's 4.5 stars. There were times I teared up. This follows 2 characters mainly, and they live in like an unnamed Middle Eastern country. I think it's like made up because the book purposefully doesn't say where they're from, but the author is British Pakistani, but it's not Pakistan. The way it's described does give the idea of it being in the Middle East, especially the way that the eventual war is described reminded me a lot of Persepolis by Marjan, I forgot her last name. They're in that country, and it's like we see like the beginnings, the rumblings of like an insurgence. I forgot what the word. Like a group of people are trying to like take over the country. There's like a war that is involved. The country is kind of going under like this horrible thing. People die. Everyone is very unsafe, even in their homes and everything. And then this thing happens where certain doors end up morphing into teleportation devices. It's hard to explain. It's not like science-y, it's more magic-y, but it's just like a thing that happens. So it's not really explained how that happens or anything, but it's just like a thing. So basically doors appear that will take you to other countries, other places in the world. And so a lot of people are becoming refugees because their country is in turmoil, and it's about that. But it's also about the 2 main characters who I forgot to describe. We follow like their love story also, like in this war-torn becoming refugee era. So I thought the story was very beautiful. The writing style was kind of hit or miss. Writing content. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like certain authors make things sexual when there doesn't need to be sexual. Like obviously the 2 characters having sex is sexual, but like just the way certain descriptions are, sometimes you know how you can sometimes tell a man wrote this? Like that's how I felt about this. That was there, but otherwise I thought it was well done. It was interesting. The way the love is described is heartfelt, and the way that I feel like I need better words. Just other people's like feelings and everything. Like there's obviously a lot about immigration and like migration, and like that's something we're currently dealing with today. I mean, this was written 3 or 4 years ago, maybe, not that long ago. Yeah, 3 years ago, 2017. So we were dealing with that then. We're still dealing with it now. Like us versus them mentality is kind of in here. And yeah, I thought it was really good. Maybe I should give it 4.5. I would have finished it in one day if I was better at things, but I didn't. So yeah, that's that. I'd recommend it. I also started this morning That Could Be Enough by Alyssa Cole. This is the book club book for the Accidentally in Love book club, which I am helping co-host this month with Paola. Read it. We're having a live show in August, and if you read it, you can be part of it. I mean, I guess you can be part of it if you don't read it also, but I don't know why you'd want to. So I started that. I'm 30%. It's a novella, so I could finish that tonight. I probably won't. But I'm liking it so far. I don't know what I expected. It's a little more fast-paced than I thought it would be, but it is, like I said, a novella, so I don't know how slow I thought it would be. But other than that, romance is getting kind of like steamy. Not steamy. What's the word I'm looking for? The romance is getting good, I guess. Hello, it's day 6 of the reading rush. Isn't this exciting? My plan for today is I'm just going to do a whole bunch of reading sprints. I've already done one. I'm in the middle of another one. I did the Twitter reading rush reading sprint this morning. It was at 10 p.m. my time, or 10 a.m. my time, and so I did that. Right now there's like a special reading sprint for people with the reading journal. I didn't get the reading journal. I haven't even done a bullet journal spread for this readathon, and there's 2 more reading sprints after the one that I'm currently in. This is like the break time or whatever, and since it's the reading journal sprint, they're like drawing or something. I could do it even though I don't have the journal, but I don't feel like it, so I'm not going to. But yeah, there's 2 more sprints after this. Like, there's going to be one at 3 and I think one at 5, so I'm going to do both of those, and we'll see how much reading I get done. The goal, hopefully, is that I finish All Boys Are in Blue during this reading sprint, and I thought maybe I was going to try and sit outside. It did not occur to me until the other day when my friend was talking about it that I could, like, sit in the park. I do live close to a park, and I can bring a blanket, but it does seem like it's gonna rain today, so we'll see about that. And also, every time I do go to the park, even just walking, I get so many mosquito bites. I've been so itchy this week. I don't think I mentioned that, but I've been so itchy. I have since finished 2 books since then, so that's good. I sort of followed my plan yesterday, and I'm trying to follow it again today, where I basically did all the reading sprints that were going on. I missed the last one. There was one between 5 and 6 my time, and I was just really hungry, so I ate instead of doing the reading sprint. Yesterday, I did finish All Boys Are in Blue. It was actually during the first reading sprint, and I should have updated you guys after that, but then I didn't. I finished this. It was good. I'm giving it 4 stars, and I thought it was impactful, and I would recommend it if you're interested in this. This is basically a YA memoir of George M. Johnson's life up to this point, where he's like discovering himself as a queer boy and then man. And it's just about his life. He has gone through some traumatic things in here. So there are a lot of trigger warnings. Probably better to look online for some trigger warnings, because I think I'm probably missing some, but from off the top of my head, I can think of a trigger warning for sexual assault, homophobia, transphobia, death in general. Like, we don't see anybody die, but people in George's life have died, and he talks about his feelings surrounding that and everything. So yeah, I'm giving this 4 stars. Like I said, it's a YA memoir, so it does read very young, which I think is, like, it's good because that's the intention, but it just made it not as fun for me to read. I don't know how to explain that. Like, it's not fun. I mean, it was kind of fun. There are like fun stories in here, but there are also sad stories, like I mentioned, trauma. But I don't know, just something about that writing style didn't quite go right for me, but like, it's not anything against the book because obviously it's meant for younger readers. And then just now, today, I finished That Could Be Enough by Alyssa Cole. That Could Be Enough is a queer Black romance. Both of the love interests are queer and Black women. Follow 2 characters, Andromeda and Mercy. Mercy is Eliza Hamilton's assistant, and she's helping Eliza Hamilton like document everything that Alexander Hamilton did before he died, and she's like that assistant. She like writes a lot, and one of her passions is writing. And then Andromeda is a woman whose grandfather had like a story that Eliza wanted to hear, so since her grandfather can't travel, Andromeda gets sent in his place to tell the story. Mercy and Andromeda meet, and things ensue from there. It was a fun read. I enjoyed it. I don't want to say too much here because, like I think I mentioned, I am going to be part of a live show. The Accidentally in Love book club is having a live show based on this book, so I'm going to be talking about lots of things about it there. So if you want like more detailed thoughts, I do want to say that if you're interested and you haven't watched Hamilton or listened to Hamilton the musical, it's really not necessary. You just need like a little bit of not even that much historical context. You just need basically what I told you in the synopsis. Eliza Hamilton is trying to preserve Alexander Hamilton's legacy, and so you just need to know that she's doing that. Most of the book is about the two main characters who are not part of that at all. They're not real. They're both fictional characters, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, but their romance, I think in the synopsis, or like when I talked about it in my TBR video, it was like an angsty queer romance, and that's what it is, because one of them is like super headstrong and the other one is more reserved, and see that dynamic. It's really cute and fun. There was like a thing at the end, which I think is something common in a lot of romances. I don't read a lot of them, so I wouldn't know, where towards the end there's like one extra point of conflict that really feels unnecessary, and I felt that it was unnecessary, and it was like a miscommunication conflict, which really annoyed me. But yeah, I'll talk about that in the live show, so that's not on that. Hello, I'm here to end this vlog. I look like a mess. It's been several days, but we're here. I finished Miss Marvel Volume 5, which is subtitled Super Famous. This is like the title suggests, Volume 5 of the new Miss Marvel series, or the current running Miss Marvel series. I think it's currently running. I'm not 100% sure. It's written by G. Willow Wilson, and the artist is multiple people. There's a lot of artists listed on this. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. It was so funny. I did not realize how funny the Miss Marvel series was. I don't remember if the first 4 were as funny, but like I said, it has been a long time since I read them. But this one was really funny. There were multiple moments where I laughed out loud. The main character learned some good lessons about how to balance her time because, well, I didn't tell you what Miss Marvel was. Miss Marvel is a superhero. She has elastic powers. I don't remember, but in this volume, she's balancing being in the Avengers with all of her other responsibilities as a teenage girl with a family, and she is a Muslim Pakistani American, and she's dealing with her family stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. There's like a little side plot on gentrification as a side note, so in theory and probably in reality, this could also count for that prompt for the Fuckathon. And yeah, overall I had a good time reading this. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the volumes in the series and to go over all the books that I have read during this week. So in the order that I finished them, I first read The Voting Booth by Brandy Colbert. I gave that 4 stars. Then I finished A Wicked Magic by Sasha Lawrence. I know I said earlier in the video I gave it 4 stars, but I think I'm going to change it to 3.5 stars because there were some moments, I did mention them, that they annoyed me, but I think they annoyed me a little more, and there were some like writing issues. Not writing issues, but some things just felt a little too convenient. Like the writing felt a little choppy, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I also want to point out, I did mention the trigger warnings. The author has like a list of trigger warnings on her website, so I will also leave that in the description box down below if you're interested in reading this book. Next, I read Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. I gave this 4 stars. All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, and I also gave this 4 stars. Then I finished That Can Be Enough by Alyssa Cole, and I gave that 4 stars, and you can see me talk about it in the Accidentally in Love live show on Paola's channel on, I can do the date, I know it, Sunday, August 9th at 3 p.m. We decided on a live show date and time, so join us there. And lastly, I finished Miss Marvel Volume 5, which again I gave 4 stars. So those are all the books that I read during this week. I finished 6 books. This was honestly my most successful reading rush / booktubeathon in probably a while. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. In the comments down below, let me know what your thoughts on this whole reading rush thing. Let me know if you took part, what you read. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter, follow me around my apartment. Bye! Just kidding. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!